Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of this show. Today, we have two very interesting personalities, and they're both participants or in recent leaders, really leaders of this upcoming Asian American coalition in Chicago for a traditional celebration of the Lunar New Year here in Chicago. And I'm really excited to have these two people because they have been involved with this community and also with this organization for a long time. And I know that for sure because I've known them. And welcome to our show, Mr. Martino Tangkar. Mr. Martino Tangkar is the president of the upcoming Asian American Lunar New Year 2025. And Miss Irene Qualuping, that's a very pretty girl down there. Yeah, Irene is the managing partner of the NRE Communications, right?
Right.
And she's also, she has many roles in our company. Irene, can you introduce yourself again?
First of all, Martino and I are so happy to be on, and I'm so happy myself to be here again, Veronica. Today's hat is one of my charitable hats, and I am working with Martino and his team, his wonderful team, as executive producer, show director, and director of communications for our big event on February 22nd.
Wow, so many hats to wear, Irene.
So fun.
Okay, I'm proud of you, and of course, Martino, because the Asian American Lunar, coalition is composed of many different Asian members, and Martino, who is leading the celebration this year, is from the country of Indonesia. Was that right?
Yes, that's right, Miss Veronica.
Okay, welcome to our show. And we are, of course, we are all curious what is going on, what is happening, because the celebration is coming up too soon. And,
18 days.
of course, our Filipino-American community is really involved in this community, in this celebration. And okay, let's hear from these two people. Okay, Martino.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What is in the offing in this celebration this year?
Thank you so much, Veronica Layton of the VIA. It's really nice to have you, and you always very supportive and for this Asian American community. And here, as a president of Asian American Coalition Chicago 2024-2025, I would like to welcome everyone to join us at the 42nd Annual Lunar New Year celebration, 2025 extravaganza celebration. And we are working with very closely also with Miss Irene Choliping of the NRE. And we are very glad that we will have a very grandeur extravagant event on the February 22nd, 2025 at Hyatt Regency O'Hare, Rosemont, Illinois. We'll start at 4:30, and all information can be found at the aacchicago.org, aacchicago.org, or can contact us at the aacchicago2025@gmail.com. I'm from the Indonesian community, and it's an honor to host this event for the third times, because as you know, that is this event, every community takes turn rotate the host for this event. And this time we picked the theme is interactive theme is one for reflecting E Pluribus Unum or Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, to showcase the unity in one. And this event will be a very, very dazzling entertainment. We also will have a lot of entertainment, not only the numerous popular celebrities, but we also have a dazzling Malang Flower Carnival from Indonesia that they fly here under Dr. Agus Sunandar. He is the maestro fashion carnival. And then we will also have Ondel Betawi by Modero Co from Philadelphia. And we also have Unity Dance, because we comprise of the 18 Asian American ethnic, with the 10 of the is called that rotate this event. And we will present a rhythm of one presented by Cultural Diversity Dance Arts by choreographer Lia Tehan. And we also have the very interesting Natalia Yaya Design Couture fashion show from Arizona, and a new segment featuring all-star singing ensemble by for the Asian anthem. Yeah, this will be a great event to know each other and also to enjoy the night. And we are very glad that Filipino American community is very helpful, very supportive under the leadership of board BOD, Ms. Laudesmont and Ms. Aurora Austriaco. And we also have a presenter, Von Ferrer and Don Villar. And also we have Kate Kogurian, who also be our MC at the kickoff last time. And we would like to have all of you to join us. And we are very glad that for this interview, and also the support from all of you at the VIA. Thank you, Ms. Veronica.
Okay, thank you, Martino. We, Irene and Martino, we always look forward to this exciting celebration every year. And I'm glad to see that both of you are heavily involved in this celebration. Now, Irene, can you tell us how many Asian American participants or organizations in their own communities are involved every year for this?
Well, I think it fluctuates every year, Veronica, so don't hold me to it. But I just did a finance document yesterday, and I told them that it was at least over 50 different ones. As you know, the Asian American community rotates the host approximately every 9 or 10 years. So this year it's Indonesian, and then all the different communities participate. It's a lot. I do know that we are going to be filled at the 1,000 people. Plus, we're anticipating 150 to 250 volunteers and artists and participants on top of that. So it's a lot of people. But non-Asian Americans, of course, are welcome as well. It's for anyone who just wants to enjoy and have a good time and are friends of the Asian American community.
This organization has come a long way since it got started, and we were there, Irene, when this
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to give you an example, if I can just say a word about our good friend Linda Yu, who I know you know, in 1992, I was actually the first recipient of the Pan Asian American Award. This award was created by the late Cameron Khan of the Pakistani community, and Linda Yu was up there to help award it to me in 1992 with chairs. And this year, we're so excited. Daryl Tom, the son of Ping Tom and a leader in his own right of the Ping Tom family, he nominated Linda Yu to be the Pan Asian American Ping Tom Memorial 2025 awardee. So can you believe this? She's coming in, you know, she retired or semi-retired. She's got her own group now, but from TV. But she'll be coming in for that weekend. And so I told Martino, I definitely want to be on stage to do that because we were on stage together to do that in 1992, and it's now 2025. So it's really full circle. I'm thinking about wearing the same dress. I have to check the size.
All right. Okay. Can any one of you tell me the Filipinos who will be awarded or will be featured or spotlighted?
So we have a number of Filipino Americans that are participating in various different ways, whether it's on the board, on stage, as an awardee, as a presenter, as a patron, as a guest, as a performer. So Filipinos I can't name all of them, there's too many, but the service awardee, the adult, is Cleo Aquino in the real estate field. She's currently president of the Asian Asian American Association area, and many other things. She's a managing broker of a big firm. She's with Spire Education. She's just so phenomenal. And our young person is Evan Mendiola. So we're so excited to have them. I sent along some pictures of the youth awardees and Cleo separately. So hopefully your editor has those. But I wanted to mention something special. Veronica, you may or may not remember in the 1980s, we used to have these mini musicals, right? With Keith Uchima, etc. So our friend Lourdes Mann and Francis Mann were in the early productions because I'm sure you know that they sing very well. And they were in the early productions. So I actually asked Lourdes and Francis if they would like to join us on stage with the stars that are professional singers for the singing of the national anthem. And they said, yeah. And C.W. Chan also. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Lourdes is going to be right up there at the beginning with these stars and this huge opening, Lourdes and Francis. We're very, very excited about that. And
wow, exciting.
Yeah. You can join us too. I know you sing.
How about, I know there are many politicians that appear on this occasion.
Yes.
So do you have the names lined up now, Martino?
We have a few, if I could just interject here. Martino and I were so happy that basically the lost years is coming out of being lost because, you know, during those years, I was not involved personally too much, but they had to go virtual and severely cut it down, right? The program, I mean. So I think this is going to be the first year in a long time where we've invited everybody and a lot of people have already said yes. So Senator Tammy Duckworth is scheduled to be the keynote speaker. And all of the state constitutional officers have been invited, as well as, you know, the leaders in the board, like Cook County Board President. So we're actually still waiting to hear on those. We can't announce all of them, but it's very high profile. And then the audience also invites people as their guests. So we have many, we do know already, we have many village mayors, et cetera, et cetera. Right, Martino?
Yes, that's right. And good thing also, we also have for the Sandra Otaka Grand Asian Awardee is Illinois State Treasurer Mike Frerich, who works very closely for the Asian American community. And this will be a fun night, and everybody will enjoy the night and meet with all of these dignitaries from the top to the from the federal, state, county, and also from the village in the Chicagoland here. That will be a fun night. Thank you.
Hey, Veronica, if I could just interject. First of all, we also wanted to thank Cprtv, besides Via Times, of course. And we wanted to mention about a new segment that I suggested to Martino, and he just, let us take off creatively. So we're going to have a new segment honoring the leaders of the past. I can't say the word right, but it's the in memoriam. I can't say that right, but Lourdes is actually the voiceover talent on that as well. So that will honor everybody, beginning from Ping Tom and on, right? So that'll be a special segment. Lourdes is doing the voice edits to music, so she's really, I'm really having her on stage as well.
You must be really very busy these days. Irene, I know you. You can do it.
Oh,
And all right. So when is this occasion going to be held? When and where?
Yeah, Saturday, February 22, 2025 at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare, where it's been probably over 30 times out of the 42 years. And it is 4:30 cocktails and then an evening of programming and lots of partying and fun. And we actually, I encourage your viewers, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but do check last minute availability for tickets. We may be able to fit people in somewhere. And I think Martino gave it earlier, but it was aacchicago.org. We welcome everybody.
Great, terrific. And okay, what's the theme this year?
I'm going to let Martino talk about that because he came up with it. Martino?
Yes, that's an interactive theme. One that is all dignitaries and everyone in the court also will give their own theme, and also that is a reflection of E Pluribus Unum or Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. That means to reflect the unity in one.
Wow.
And
that's good. Good, very good. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Unity dance name is the rhythm of one. So everything is one.
ONE, one. and there is an explanation underneath it. All right.
Yeah. I'm holding up the visual, but we also sent that in a clip as well for your editor, Ron. Here it is. Beautiful design.
All right. Very good. Well, okay, we're coming to a close. And I really thank you guys for appearing on our show today. And if Martino or Irene would like to say one final word in this interview.
Just come. It's going to be so fun. We are so glad the Lost Years is over, and we promise you're going to have a really good time. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to all of our board, the Filipino American community, all of our sponsors and patrons, and thanks to you, Veronica Layton, for being you.
Thank you too, Irene. Thank you, Martino. And well, we'll see you at the Asian American Coalition's Lunar New Year celebration. All right, very good. And I thank you for gracing our show today. And I'm really honored for your presence.
Salamat po.
Bye now.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show today. We have a very interesting young person. When I say young, he's really very young. Filipino-American, and this guy, although he's young, he has been I mean, I've watched him in this little community of ours, and he is a very successful, multi-awarded um, realtor in our community. Very popular. His name is Jason Chavez. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, Tita
Come
V.
to
Glad
our
to be
show.
here. Thanks for the nice introduction, but
Okay. Yeah, that is true though. I've watched you since I met you at the party one time. And my God, by golly, talagang ano talaga, impressive. Impressive this Mr. Jason Chavez. And he is really a very successful realtor in our community. And I invited him today. Well, first thing first, please introduce yourself and what you're doing about your company and everything. He is a realtor from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services,
mhm,
Stark Real Estate. Okay,
yes.
introduce
So,
yourself.
hi everyone, mga kabayan, kamusta po? I'm Jason Chavez, licensed realtor, real estate broker, with Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate, in Palatine. And I used to be the operations manager for ARIA, Greater Chicago, which stands for Asian American Real Estate Association of America. But I had to step down because we have daddy responsibility. So we do have now an 18-month year old baby girl, and now I'm focusing on helping our
A young
Filipino.
father.
Sorry, I just got a phone call, but I'm busy right now. But anyway, I'm working on for home buyers, home sellers, investors, and even renters. But I focus primarily on home ownership to assist and guide and educate our kababayans here in Illinois. So there's Filipino Americans, there's first-time home buyers or repeat buyers, and even home sellers. They need to be educated in terms of not just about the real estate, not just about the process, but as well as about the U.S. Economics, right? Because there's so many factors that affect the real estate market, and that's very crucial for people to understand because this is their hard-earned money.
Unknown
This is
caller.
hard-earned money, and um, they mean they deserve to be educated, to be informed, and not just to guide them and tell them about how to buy a property, how to sell their property. And that's what I'm here for. And I have a background in industrial engineering. When I was in the Philippines, I was an industrial engineer, and then I studied software engineering here as well at Northeastern Illinois University. So yun po. Thank you for listening.
How long have you been in real estate? How long have you been doing it?
So yeah, so I got my license back in 2018, but I started doing the business during COVID. And I remember my first client actually got COVID. When I was showing him home, we were wearing N95 mask, and we're like distance apart from each other. So I will open the door first, get the key, and open the door for him, and I will go back in my car and call him like, "Hey, the door is open. You can go ahead and check the property." So that's how it started. I was like,
How you
a lot
got
of
started?
yes, a lot of Filipinos are asking for help, in terms of buying a property, but I was like, you know what, this is my calling to help these people out, get their property, get their dream house.
Wow, COVID time. You took advantage of that critical time, and you really became successful with what you're doing. And you are an immigrant from the Philippines, right? Young
That
immigrant.
that is correct, Paul. Yes.
And you officially started in 2022, and you have been successful with what you're doing. Amazing, amazing, really. And Jason, um, you still look young. You look like you're 18 years old. I'm telling you. Oh, and okay. So, all right. I invited you here today to talk about your business. I'm sure that you really love what you're doing. And I watch you. We are Facebook friends, and I watch you succeed by getting so many awards, and I mean, so selling, really selling a lot of properties. And okay, so for this year, 2025, we're here in January 2025. Okay. Jason, can you please tell us what is, for the sake of our viewing audience, what is the outlook of the real estate market here in Chicago? I mean, not only in Chicago, in Illinois.
In Illinois. Yes, po, Tita. So, with regards to the current market, right? I don't mean to scare you, okay? But we are in a very crucial stage because in 4 days from now we will have a new administration, right? The Trump administration will take the office, and those things, those policies that the FOMC have already planned all the way to 2026 now needs to be changed because those were set up with with the current administration, the Biden administration, but now another administration is taking over, so they have to restructure their plan. Okay, so the first thing that we have to understand is we are in debt crisis. Our nation, as the U.S., okay, if you will go to fiscal data.treasury.gov, we owe $36.17 trillion as a country. Can you believe that? $36.17 trillion. And the main reason why is that is because our administration, the government, has been spending twice as what we are making. So the spending of the nation is $1.79 trillion. Okay. However, we only make as a country 1.08 trillion dollars. So we have a deficit of 200 we have a deficit of $711 billion as a nation accumulatively. Okay, this is historically, not just for this year, for last year. So what this means to us as home buyers, home sellers in real estate, right? So it simply means that the new administration who will be taking over has to implement strict policies to collect more money, to have more tax revenues, okay, to combat the deficit, to lessen the unnecessary spending of the country. And one of the things that the new administration is going to impose is that the tax policies or the tariff policy. So the upcoming president has already told the public, right, that he's going to charge 10% tariff to Canada, to Chinese goods, and up to 25% tariff on import products from Mexico and Canada. So if Trump is going to tax that, I mean, I know what he's doing. He's doing that to collect more tax revenue for the nation, right? To pay off our debts. We're talking about $36 trillion here, right? So it's going to take time to pay it off. So Trump has to do that. However, it's going to cost the consumers for high inflation. The inflation will reaccelerate. Right now, we're at 3.4% inflation down to 3.2% CPI index. But that inflation is still higher than the Fed's goal, which is 2%. So we're still above there. So to make it short and simple, right? The new administration's policies will reaccelerate inflation by imposing taxes and tariffs on our basic goods, right? Because these countries like Mexico, Canada, and China, they hold pretty much a lot of volume of our household products, our daily products, from food, from basic commodities. So if the government will impose tariffs and tax to this nations, to these products, the distributor, the manufacturer, all of these big guys, right, in the industry, they will pass it on to the end consumer, which is us. And guess what? The prices of everything, basic goods and commodities, will go up, and that will correlate to the housing market. So what's going to the housing market is if everything goes up, right? The labor, materials to cost a house, everything's going to go up. There will be inflation, and the interest rate will not come down. The interest rate right now, if you go to Mortgage.com, Mortgage News Daily, it ended at 7.07% for conventional 30-year fix. If you go to CNBC, it's at 7.11%. So do you think the government will lower the rate down if we have a high inflation, if the inflation will go back? No, because we don't want to encounter the same problem that we've had during COVID. Because during COVID, when I started doing real estate, rates were so low because people were afraid to spend money. So in order to motivate the consumers, the government lowered the Fed fund rate down to almost 0%. That also affected the 30-year fixed mortgage rate. So a lot of buyers bought property and refinanced their homes to those home sellers during that time. That actually moved the prices of homes to go up. I had clients who were buying homes with $10,000 to $15,000 more than the asking because they want to catch the lower interest rate, right, which is around 2.5 to 3%. So in Illinois, alone, there's a good and bad, right? If you are a homeowner, okay, your properties have gone up by, see here in the data, so by 5.4% increase. So in 2024, the median home price for the entire Illinois is now $295,000 year over year. However, the housing inventory remains low. It's basic law of supply and demand. If there's so much inventory, basic so much supply, and the demand is low, right? Then that's the only time that the price will go down. But if there's low inventory, why there's low inventory? Because a lot of homeowners, they want to hold their property because they have lower interest rate because they refinanced during 2020. Why would they sell their house just in order for them to get a smaller house and pay the same thing? So they will keep their properties and they will not sell it, right? That's why most houses nowadays in the market are the ones that are either divorce properties or estate sale, right? Like it's really rare to see someone who wanted to sell their house just to get a new house. So in a different perspective, with the new administration taking over, um, they're gonna lessen some restrictions to the builders across the nation. The top builder that I'm working with, D.R. Horton, they are building so many homes across the U.S. and they're giving away up to up to $10,000 closing cost incentives, and you can find it with a regular mortgage banker, and they can give you as low as 4.99% for 30-year fix. So the thing is, a lot of people are still afraid to get into real estate, in today's market in 2025 because of the high interest rates. But here's what I'll tell you: high interest rates, right, 7% or 6%, they're not going to be there forever. It's a cycle. The government has to keep up and reduce the interest rate because they are also paying, okay, interest rates or interest on the government's debt. We have debt. So if you have a debt and you have high interest, you gotta do something to lower that interest, right? And the 30-year fixed mortgage correlates to the 10-year treasury yield. So come to think of this, right? If someone owes a lot of money because that person, say for example, that person makes $10,000 a month and he spends $20,000 a month. So he's going to go bankrupt at the end of the day. So what he's doing is, in order for him to pay off the debt, is borrowing money from someone. So he's selling bonds. The country is selling bonds. The problem is, if no one will buy bonds from the U.S., the government, okay, will raise the interest rate to encourage this buyers. Could be China, could be Europe, right? This outside countries, or even private investors, so they can attract people to buy bonds. So if they do so, they will increase the interest rate, and it's going to be a dangerous cycle for the economy. But nothing is permanent, right? The only thing that I tell people is why it's still always a good thing to buy a house is because real estate property values is always on an upward trend. If you miss the boat, if you miss the train, for example, for a $300,000 condo, right? Then you will never see that $300,000 condo again because there's no way but up. The real estate market in the entire history from 1940s to 2025 was already down for like 6 times, like only 6 years. Imagine that. That's from 2000, let's say 2005 minus 1941, we're talking about 85 years, right? But the market was only down in just 6 years. So right now, I have a lot of clients that I'm working with. Most of them are thinking of buying, but I tell them, like what you always hear from realtors and mortgage officers, right? Marry the house and date the rate, because once you miss the price of the house, it's never gonna go back, because the only way that the market will crash is if there's more supply, meaning more houses for sale. And one of the things that could trigger that is if people can't afford to pay their mortgage, then they're going to go for a closure, and that's the time that we will have oversupply. But as long as people have jobs, right? People are making money, people are paying off people are have the capability to pay their mortgage, then there's going to be no crash. You will just keep on. There's always a cost of waiting. Every time you wait, you're losing the opportunity to buy a house for a cheaper price, because that house that you've been looking on the internet, right? That was listed for $400,000 before. It's now $450,000 now. So yeah, did that.
Know that. I'm aware of that. So, you mentioned all these facts that's supposedly to be in the offing. Because this week is the inauguration of President Trump, and we are welcoming him as our new president. And it sounds to me that um, as far as the real estate, um, facts are concerned, it looks like it's kind of dim, dark and dim for the consumers, for the buyers and sellers. So, well, do you think that government policy will really be enforced? It's a sort of, how sure are you that it's going to be enforced?
Well, in terms of assurance, right? There's no such thing as 100% assurance and accuracy, because knowing the newly elected president, right? Sometimes he says something in public, but then you know change it once he's there in the position, right? But to me, it's necessary for the government to do that, because that's the only way to combat the deficit, right? Because the administration has spent so much, right? So much money. We don't know where the money went to, right? We don't want to get into that, but the challenge is that the new administration has to do something to lessen the expenses of the government. That's why you probably heard of Elon Musk and Vivek, who will be leading the imaginary government agency called Doge, right? Department of Government Efficiency, because their goal is to kind of audit the IRS, audit this, government bodies, right, to make sure that they're not wasting government funds. But it's necessary for the government to do so, so that way we can lower expenses and make sure that we are spending the budget wisely, and pay off the deficit and make more taxes revenue based off the tariff and other tax policies that the new administration is going to impose.
Okay, Jason. All right, I got you. Um, what do you think uh, is? I mean, this is another foreboding news about and I know that you're aware of it, about many many people are moving out of the state of Illinois
Mm-hmm.
because the problem about number one is property tax in Illinois. It's one of the highest in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Stable, but
So yeah, so in terms of that, it really depends from which country. I mean, from which country these people are going to, based on some stats that I've seen before, right? Most people from Illinois, they move to warmer places like Texas or Florida, right? Because they want somewhere warmer. But in terms of property taxes, it really depends on the location. Some areas of Illinois still have lower property taxes. Like right now, the hottest the hottest city or town in Illinois in terms of real estate is actually Rockford. Like that's really the hottest right now. The affordability and faster sales are actually going into Rockford, and the median home price in Rockford has actually gone up to $242,000 compared to Chicago, which is $337,000. So in terms of really in terms of the taxes, I can argue that California is still worse than Illinois, right? I'm not gonna say worse, but we are still better off California and New York in terms of property taxes. That's why a lot of people like actually personally serve clients who move from California bought a single family home, new construction home in Elgin with Lennar because they spent almost $600,000. I forgot the price of the house, but I can pull it up. But it's less than $1 million, right? They told me we can never find a house as big as this, as beautiful as this, as new as this, with less than a million, less than $700,000. With that price, we'll probably be able to buy a smaller house, not so nice house with that price, and taxes are ridiculous, right? So,
Okay. All right. So what can you advise to our, I mean, some people still would like to remain here in the state of Illinois in spite of, okay. And so what can you advise either I mean, if you're in the market, either seller or buyer of real estate here in Illinois? What is the outlook?
so yeah, for the outlook in terms of Illinois, in terms of the housing market, we're not the best state out there, right? Because I'll just look at the U.S. migration data from Redfin, right? So it says there the top 10 areas that people are moving to, okay, is Sacramento, California, Cape Coral. Okay, they're moving to Sacramento, California, Cape Coral, Florida, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Salisbury, Maryland, Portland, Maine, Las Vegas, Nevada, Sarasota, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Nashville, Tennessee, and Hilo, Hawaii. So none of these towns or places are Chicago or Illinois, right? But it says right here on the other hand, top 10 areas people are moving from. We're in the top six. Chicago's in the top six. Top one is LA, California. A lot of people are moving out of LA. New York is the second. Third is San Francisco. Fourth
The
is Seattle. Hmm?
wildfires, LA
Wildfires. Yeah,
wildfires.
that's one thing that I would actually mention about, though it's not really related to real estate, but at some point the natural disaster affects the people's preferences, right, in terms of finding a place to go. So I've been talking about this with my wife and with my cousins because I have cousins in Atlanta, in New Jersey, in North Carolina, and Florida, right, and even California. And we were just joking around. Like I always tell them, like I think Illinois is the safest state so far because those states are by the coast are actually always getting hit by natural disasters, natural phenomena like wildfire or probably tsunami, or type hurricanes, flood, and we don't have alligator here. The only thing that people are, hate about Illinois is the cold weather, and that's it. But you can always double your jacket, right? And that's why you have a car to drive. You have heater in your car, but
Rather face the snowstorms and the blizzards.
well, yeah, but it's not as worse. It's not as worse as before, right? Because for the past couple of years, I think snowstorms were worse. Because now, like we have a very minimal snow so far, and we're almost halfway January,
I think
right?
I say that too. Yeah, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah,
Count our blessings. Or always count our blessings anyway.
right, right. Because
Okay.
if your houses get hit by natural phenomena, you'll have to pay insurance. Your
Yeah.
insurance premium will go up.
All right, Jason. I congratulate you for what you're doing, and I think we're running out of time. One last word. The last quick words.
One
To
last quick
our
word.
kids.
All right, boss. So yeah, knowing that as a nation we are in a very dark, I would say dark debt crisis. It's a turmoil, right? Imagine you live in a country where you think like this is the superpower, right? US is the richest country around the world. But now that you know that we actually owe 36.17 trillion dollars, and the government keeps on spending money. So, and inflation will always beat your savings. If you have $100,000 savings in your savings account, 2 years down the road, if inflation keeps going up, that $100,000 value is not the same in 2 years. So the best way for you to protect your hard-earned money is to invest it in assets that appreciate. And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about real estate. Real estate is proven and tested. Not just I'm not don't listen to me, okay? And I know I'm a realtor, so I'm gonna push you to sell your house or buy houses, right? But do your due diligence. Go check out government websites, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The best way to protect your hard-earned money is to always invest in appreciating assets, and it's not just limited to real estate. You can also buy gold, silver, those tangible assets. You could buy an actual gold and keep it to your room, right? But what I'm saying is, don't just save up money and leave them in your bank or put them under your bed or in your chest, because those money will be weakened by the inflation. So you have to find a way to combat the inflation. By far, real estate appreciates for at least 3% to 5% a year. Inflation is inflation by far, right, is around 3.2%. So imagine that if you're saving money, the bank will just give you maybe a fraction of what you put in there in their account, right?
Correct.
Instead of buying the real estate where you have more appreciation. And not just that, because I have a lot of friends who own who own stocks, cryptos. I do cryptos as well. But what I tell them is this: I get it. You have so much money in your stocks account, right? In your Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, name them, right? But I don't care, because you don't enjoy them now. When are you going to enjoy it? When you cash it, when you sell your stocks, your shares. If you have a real estate, you get to bring your friends, let them enjoy your beautiful house while you're making money, while you're letting your house appreciate over time. So real estate is the only asset where you can make money through appreciation, right? You have tax benefits as well. At the same time, you get to enjoy it with your family and friends.
Great, terrific, beautiful, beautiful financial advice. Uh, you will be our guru there. One of these days, pagtanda-tanda mo.
Yes, it's always a pleasure, Paul. I'm always here. I'm a giver. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me. Even if there's no guarantee that you will work with me, I'm okay.
Number,
Well,
telephone number.
my phone number, you can reach me at 312-801-0451. Jason Chavez, your realtor.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. Your Jason as Jasohn.
Correct, Tita V. The only one.
HN. All right, talagang Pinoy. All right. Maraming maraming salamat sa iyo, Jason. At hanggang sa muli.
Yes, Paul.
Alright.
Thanks for having me, guys. God bless you. Thank you,
Alright.
Paul.
At maraming maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Bye.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Carino Quattro bringing you this week's local news from our community. President Donald Trump on Saturday signed an order to impose stiff tariffs on imports from Mexico, Canada, and China, drawing swift retaliation and an undeniable sense of betrayal from the country's North American neighbors as a trade war erupted among the longtime allies. The Republican president posted on social media that the tariffs were necessary to protect Americans. pressing the three nations to do more to curb the manufacture and export of illicit fentanyl, and for Canada and Mexico to reduce illegal immigration into the U.S. The tariffs, if sustained, could cause inflation to significantly worsen, threatening the trust that many voters place in Trump to lower the prices of groceries, gasoline, housing, autos, and other goods as he promised. They also risked throwing the global economy and Trump's political mandate into turmoil just 2 weeks into his second term. Trump declared an economic emergency in order to place duties of 10% on all imports from China and 25% on imports from Mexico and Canada. Energy imported from Canada, including oil, natural gas, and electricity, would be taxed at a 10% rate. The Illinois Department of Public Health is announcing a month-long focus on heart health during American Heart Month in February. The annual observance serves as a reminder to the public about the dangers of cardiovascular disease and the resources that are available to help people maintain heart health. Governor J.B. Pritzker and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton joined IDPH Director Dr. Samir Vora in urging the public to be aware of and to take care of their heart health. Heart disease remains the #1 cause of death both nationally and right here in Illinois, said Director Vora. But heart disease can be preventable when we are aware of our own personal risk factors. The first step in prevention is identifying what can make your heart unhealthy, such as untreated high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high levels of stress. Next, create a heart-healthy action plan. Finally, schedule a checkup with your medical provider and take control of your heart health today. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death in Illinois and across the country, but many risk factors are preventable, said Governor J.B. Pritzker. This Heart Health Month, take charge of your well-being and schedule a screening, make heart-healthy choices, and encourage your loved ones to do the same. If you need support, the Illinois Department of Public Health has great resources to help you stay on top of your heart health. A little prevention today can lead to a healthier tomorrow. Hunters in Illinois harvested a preliminary total of 170,758 deer during all 2024 to 2025 archery and firearm seasons, which concluded January 19th. The preliminary total for 2024 to 2025 compares with a total harvest of 160,313 deer for all seasons in 2023 to 2024. During the 2024 to 2025 deer seasons, hunters took 46.27% females and 53.72% males. Final harvest totals by season and county can be found in the annual Deer Harvest Report, which will be published later this spring. 18 northern Illinois counties were open to the special CWD season, which is used to assist in slowing the spread of chronic wasting disease in the Illinois deer herd, and 27 counties were open for the late winter antlerless season in 2024 to 2025 compared to 23 counties in 2023 to 2024. Counties that are at or below their individual deer population goal for 2 consecutive years may be removed from the late winter season. Pet owners can bring their dogs and cats to participating veterinarians throughout Cook County to receive up to a $40 discount on spay-neuter services February 1st through the 28th. The county's Department of Animal and Rabies Control, ARC, is offering the spay-neuter program during February, Spay-Neuter Awareness Month. Residents who want to take advantage of the spay and neuter program should confirm that their veterinarian offers the discount before making an appointment. No coupon is required, but the pet owner must live in Cook County. The county covers up to $40 off spaying and neutering per pet. According to the American Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, approximately 6.3 million companion animals enter U.S. animal shelters nationwide, and around 920,000 shelter animals are euthanized each year. As part of the department's mission to help control the animal population and minimize unwanted litters throughout the county, ARC initiates the spay and neuter program each February. The Capital Development Board announced more than $60 million in investments to address deferred maintenance projects for the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, IDNR. The funding, made possible by Governor J.B. Pritzker's bipartisan Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan, will focus on 5 areas across Illinois. Through Rebuild Illinois, we are making meaningful investments in communities across the state so that Illinoisans, no matter their zip code, benefit from our state's progress, said Governor J.B. Pritzker. The projects aim to address essential repairs, including water and wastewater systems, trail and bridge replacements, and site preservation efforts. State parks such as Starved Rock and Lake Murphysboro will see improvements that will provide recreational and educational benefits to the public. This week, we witnessed a significant step in securing our communities as ICE carried out its first major deportation raids in New York City under President Trump's renewed immigration crackdown. Early Tuesday morning, heavily armed federal agents, joined by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, executed a series of swift and effective raids, apprehending violent criminals, including murderers and kidnappers. The operation targeted illegal immigrants with active warrants for serious offenses, such as burglary, kidnapping, and assault. Among those arrested was a suspected gang leader from the Tren de Aragua gang, notorious for its violent crimes across the region. These raids are part of President Trump's promise to prioritize public safety by removing criminals from our streets, no matter their immigration status. Secretary Noem, leading the charge in this operation, emphasized that dirtbags like this will continue to be removed from our streets, reinforcing the administration's zero-tolerance approach to criminals. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.